All right, now it's time for my Saturday drive vlog, as Tech Hustler calls it. And after watching his video today that he dropped his driving vlog and he was eating lunch with y'all, guess what I got? I got lunch. So crypto's not dead. We still got our sword chain running. We got our rover running. And normally we would have Nadix running right here. However, I need this holder to do the video. All right, hands-free driving now. So, welcome back to another video. I'm the Grumpy Dad, and I have to take 1 second and thank the good Lord that I'm still here doing a video with y'all. I was planning on trying to surprise y'all with a live tonight, but my four-wheeler, my ATV, whatever you want to call it, had other plans. It got possessed and attacked me. I've had a Yamaha Grizzly 660 ATV for 20 years. Fun fact, I got it right after Katrina, right before Katrina. That's how I just remember the date. And I've been having some fuel issues with it and stuff like that. I finally got it running good. And when it runs good for a 20-year-old bike. It's in very good condition. It was until a little while ago. So those older Yamahas, I didn't realize this until I had to troubleshoot it in the middle of the woods while I was working on my lease. When I went to my food plot, when I went to look, this is gonna be a crypto video. I know some of y'all know I got an outdoor channel. Y'all think I don't have my videos confused, but I just gotta tell the story real quick, just because sometimes, you know, I tell you all the time, you know, pray and thank God for your safety, and this just goes along with it. If you don't believe, you don't believe, but this is a perfect example. I didn't realize that 20-year-old Yamaha started having issues with throttle cables. When I go to press my throttle, after I put it in drive, somehow the whole thing gets floored. Full throttle, from 0 to full throttle. The four-wheeler kicks up. Again, this is a 660 engine, so it's got a little bit. This thing will go 65 miles an hour with my fat ass on it. And it pops a wheelie. Grumpy comes off the backside, falls on his backside, flat on his back. And next thing you know, kind of like the Harry Potter movie when the car keeps going off on its own in the woods, that's exactly what the four-wheeler looked like. And you're hearing crash, 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 crash until the four-wheeler's finally stuck up a tree like this. And I eventually made my way over to it after I regained myself a little bit. And sure enough, I had to troubleshoot it, and there's something that goes on with the cables after they get several years old and they crack and stuff like that, where they will get stuck, you know, because all they are is tension, and they will get stuck in wide open. You know, you'd much rather them get stuck in low, but it doesn't work like that. So I have a brush burn up my ass in the back, and fun fact, it's almost entirely on video because my trail camera caught some of it. You see the bags going flying out the back. You see Grumpy on his ass and his back on the ground. And it'll probably be the closest thing I ever get to OnlyFans, but for the right price, I'll sell it, the pictures. But probably not. There's probably no price. I'll never let that go. But luckily, I'm still here with y'all. I'm in some pain. I wasn't in that much pain at first. I'm like, oh man, I feel fine. And it's been about 2.5 hours since that's happened, and I'm starting to feel it. So I can't see me really doing a live tonight. I think I'm gonna hit some ibuprofen and some Bywater bourbon and see if I can work my way through the pain. So like I said, we have it's gonna be a lunch just like Tech Hustler's video just did. I'm eating my chicken sandwich also. I'm also trying to lose weight. And as you get older, it's a lot harder to do that. So for those who've been following along, y'all know that I have been going to the gym pretty close to every day for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Even last night, I walked 2 miles by my house. Can't get to the jogging part yet, but I'm walking. And for somebody my weight, I'm happy I got through 2 miles without dying, and it's a start. So I was already sore a little bit, and now from this, it's gonna be a fun, interesting, you know, day tomorrow watching NFL or whatever. But Not as fun as watching our crypto wallets right now. I did a video this morning when I was on my way to Hunt and Lease. I know some of y'all were panicking. I saw some of y'all messages. Y'all messaging me, stuff people putting in X, and on Discord. And not that I know everything, not that I'm the person to talk you off the ledge, like, what the hell do I know? But sometimes you just need somebody else to reassure you that it's not the end of the world. I'll be honest with you. I have not even looked at my Exodus wallet. I don't want to look at my Exodus wallet. I know some of the bigger cryptos that I'm in, Cardano, WIF, and some of these other ones, VET stuff. Some of these things are down 10, 15, 20, 25%. I don't want to look at it. What I'm telling people is, we know this will bounce back. It doesn't feel like it right now. You have the usual YouTubers who last week were saying Bitcoin's going to 135,000 last week and the alt season's going to start. Well, you can't have both. And now, what they're telling you, crypto's over with, crypto's done. Trump did this, and crypto's not going to survive, and crypto isn't going to recover. Well, if they were wrong last week, why are y'all panicking about what they're saying this week? And then you got the usual clickbait crap. And no matter how much we make fun of it in my lives or in videos, and the girl has her knowledge, the lady has her knowledge. I will give her that and tell her that in person. But the queen of clickbait herself, Wendy O, this is not the time to go put clickbait out on videos saying Bitcoin going to zero. People don't need that right now. People are panicking. And you have a responsibility. You want to be a YouTuber with all these subscribers? You have a effing responsibility to talk people off the ledge. Not have people think that Bitcoin's really going to go to zero. It pisses me off. You got Alex Becker saying he's selling all his bags. Well, he does a video every other week saying he's selling all his bags. And then you watch him and he says, well, I don't mean I'm selling them today, but eventually I'm going to sell them. But I will say, if y'all did not catch Alex Becker's video, I know some of y'all don't care for him, but y'all really need to watch it, because he breaks down some of this manipulation that happened from this market drop, or whatever you want to call it, this crash. Because as I told some people in my Discord earlier and on Twitter, this is not 100% on Trump. Despite what some people want to say, how they feel about Trump, they hate him, they love him, whatever. This is not 100% on Trump. Trump was the match, but the gas was already on the crypto. You had manipulations going on, and look, I'm watching this other YouTuber who's saying this is the biggest manipulation that has ever been in crypto. Why now? I don't know. Was it just that the market was ready, a prime for it because of the Bitcoin highs and crypto highs? That's possible. But you had Binance manipulating. Again, like the guy I just watched said, and Alex Becker brought it up too. Do we have proof of that? Will we ever get proof of that? No. But it's weird that people who did have stop losses, the stop losses didn't trigger. Or when people wanted to get into their crypto to try to sell or move it or do something, these exchanges were all locked out and you couldn't get into it. That's a coincidence. So for those of y'all who are into buying crypto, DCAing a little bit here and there, or buying big amounts, I don't have that kind of money. I'm letting y'all know, when I did right after I did my video this morning, I went and DCA'd into several cryptos. I don't know where the hell I'm gonna get the money from. I mean, who needs lights? I can just use my light money, power bill money to pay it. Now, that's a joke. That's a joke, because I have to be responsible and say, you don't play with money in crypto that you can't afford to lose tomorrow. I fully understand and I can accept if tomorrow that crypto that I bought is half the price of what it is today. You have to buy the dips. You try to buy the dips. You try to time the dips. And I told y'all, though, in my video this morning, come Monday, late Sunday night, early Monday morning, when these markets open up, you could have some more blood in the streets. I'm willing to accept that. If you're interested in buying some, trying to time it, you don't know when the time is going to be. Because you could wait till Monday and you could have this huge recovery. If the economy's strong, like I think it is, we've had some dips before Bitcoin, it got bought right up. You never know. And also, we have to remember that this did not just happen in crypto, this happened in stocks also. You know, and I'm gonna use Alex Becker's words. Again, y'all really need to go watch that video today. It's a little long, but it brings up a good point about Trump, and this is his point. But for how much good he's doing on certain things, the money makers or the manipulation or whatever you want to call it that he's doing with crypto and stocks is bullshit. And I'm sorry to use that word, but I don't know how else to put it. And that's basically how he put it too. Is, are we ever going to have a strong alt season or a strong bull market when he's doing this crap like this? Listen, we all know there is no way come November 1st we will have a 100% tariff on China. We know it's not going to happen. But yet when the market hears that, they start dumping. Then you have the manipulations that go along with it. We know that's not going to happen. Every time he starts threatening tariffs, crypto goes down. He waits a week or two. Then he says, we worked out the special handshake deal, and then the markets go back. And him and his son and his people or whoever, y'all know every time it goes down, they're buying it up. And when it goes up, they're going to sell. You know that's going to happen. And again, while he's doing some good for the country, I know some of y'all who are liberal or disagree with that. I'm conservative. I'm not the biggest fan of Trump at all, but I'm conservative first. There are some things that he has cleaned up. We might not like how he's going around about it, but there are some things that needed to be addressed. He's addressed them, but what he's doing with the stock markets and what he's doing with crypto, that's getting old. You feel like you're getting seasick. He needs to keep his mouth shut about some of that stuff. All right, so we talked enough about that. We beat that dead horse. Trust me, you can go to Discord and chit chat with us about it. There should be a link in my description below to get to my Discord. So let's talk about our DePin projects. Nubila had its node sale yesterday. I did a video on it last night. Me actually purchasing the node, so that y'all know that I am not all words. I purchased my own node. I did not get it free from anybody or anything like that. I purchased it. I showed y'all purchasing it. I used my crypto.com card, and with that I got like 50 Crow tokens. Part of that price dip did help out. So I got 50 Crow tokens. Not too long ago, what was that, like a month ago, Crow was up to almost 50 cents. So that's, that's like $25 right there worth of Crow tokens if it gets back to that. I'm hoping to see Crow go back to its all-time high of $1. That's a pretty damn good thing. I use that Crow card for everything. Today I went and bought some stuff from a hunting lease. When I was bringing it up there, use my Crow. I sit there at the register, see how much it is. I move my Crow token, my money over, because it's a prepaid card, and that Crow card is awesome. But you saw me, I bought the Nubila token. I bought the Nubila node, got the NFT, showed y'all what to do with it. I have to thank each and every one of y'all who bought the nodes yesterday, used my code. There was a good amount of y'all that bought those Nubila nodes. And I'm gonna tell you, I thought everybody would go for the $300 one. There were several people who got the next one up. Don't quote me on it. Was it $500 or $600? Somewhere around there. So I want to thank each and every one of y'all who did that. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for the support on that. We hoping that Nubila is something that goes to mainnet soon. We got an airdrop for that Nubila node, so that should offset our cost also, help us get to ROI a little faster. I've had people ask me, hey, if I got $300, I had somebody ask me this in Discord the other day, on live the other day, and now on X today. Somebody said, hey, I got $300. Should I buy a Nubila node, or should I buy the actual sensor, which is the Nubila Marco? Me, I'm a weather geek. I still say also, by supporting the project the best, we need sensors. We need to be able to sell data. So to me, if you want to be in it for the tech and you want to help Nubila succeed, I would get the Marco. Now, if you look at your city and your town, and there's a Nubila Marco 2 or 3 blocks over from you, then maybe you want to look at a node. I don't know what you expanding so close would help, but if there's no, like me, there was no Nubila Marco for 30 plus miles in any direction but my house. Baton Rouge had one. New Orleans didn't even have one. So I did that. Plus, I like the fact that Nubila allows you to move that device. It ain't like a lot of DePin projects where it's installed here and it's stuck here and you can't move it unless you do a change locations and stuff like that, and they don't want you really moving it again type of thing. This thing's made for like RVs. When you're at one city today, one city tomorrow, one city another day, you can move it. I'm planning on bringing it, like I told y'all, to this festival that I'm in charge of next week, so I can get the temperature. We think it's going to be hot, and I won't be able to monitor that at that park where we're at, and I'll be able to do that with that Nubila device. All right, so what next? Well, I don't know if the thing's aimed at me right or not. I can't see, my watch died. It's been that long of a day. I'm hoping it's aimed at me. If not, I apologize. What's next? I don't know what's next. We got Nubila. We're holding on to it, waiting for that TGE. Wing bits, I'm praying that thing goes mainnet very, very soon. Y'all know I have a lot of tokens. I'm not lying to y'all. I'm going to sip some profits on wing bits. I'm not a lot. They're also spreading those tokens out for a year, so I can't, even if I want to. I have tokens coming back to me for buying hexes when we started doing that a while back. I have a hunting trip planned at the end of October, beginning of November, and I have a mining disrupt in the middle of November. That's 2 trips. I could really use some profit from some of these projects. 375 AI, I'm looking at you. I keep hearing next week since August. I'm hoping that 375 AI gets their crap together. There's 1 or 2 other ones we were looking at too, kind of all at the same time. But what's next? If y'all were on my live Thursday, y'all missing some good lives. We were throwing out all kinds of projects. Who Fought It, who's a guy who's in my Discord a lot, was throwing out some new projects. Some other people are throwing out some new projects. But to me, it's getting very hard to start skimming away the scabs from the legit projects. Sometimes it was easy to tell by the websites and by when you started looking deep into it, where some of them you can't tell anymore. There was one, I'm a space geek. I had a telescope when I was younger. I got my telescope out the attic, and me and my daughter have been looking at stars and the moon and different things like that. I am a space geek. There was one that was coming out about space, a DePin about space, and you put a camera up and see space and stuff like that. I throw a BS flag on that. Me, as being somebody who's way into telescopes and looking at space, when I go hunting, I love going hunting, especially when I'm in the middle of Missouri and there are no street lights around for miles. You can see more stars than you've ever did before. Then if you take your iPhone and use one of the 3 different lenses and point it up at the night sky, you'll see even more stars that you can't see with your naked eye. I'm into that kind of stuff. And it's those kind of special lenses that I know you need, and I can't see them coming out with that. In this project, again, I was all hyped up for it. They don't have, you can't find a website, or you can't find any kind of online presence really, or you can't find an X, you can't find Discord. It doesn't really look like it's going to be legit. I'm hoping it's just that it's very, very, very early, but I don't know. So we're looking at some different projects. You know me, I like to be in some of these beta new projects. That's where the money's at. You're gambling, and I'm gonna tell you, Alex Becker said this earlier. You're not trading crypto. You're gambling. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. You're gambling. And when you get into new projects, you're gambling. We talked about also getting a live. Again, y'all missing some good lives. We talked for a while. All my lives are like big BS sessions, kind of like what this is right now. But we BSing back and forth. That's what I was hoping to do tonight. I don't know. I might do it tonight. I don't know. Man, that's how much the ibuprofen kicks in. It hurts just for me leaning up like this. But what I will say is that, you know, we talked about new projects and how majority of the projects, not all of them, but majority of the projects, you get the most tokens and the most value when you do time it right. You time it with a legit project and you stack up those tokens during testnet, then you get them swapped out during mainnet, and you get those tokens. That is normally for most projects. There have been some exceptions, but for majority of projects, I'm not saying even sell them. I'm just saying that's when you usually do the best rewards and stuff, is by getting in early. The problem is you have some projects that never go testnet, not mainnet. They never come out of testnet. Or when they do go to mainnet, they fizzle out. You know, I can name 2 or 3 projects right now, but there's no need to. I talk about them enough in my Monday video. So we're gonna look at some projects, try to figure it out. Again, keep our Nubila running, our 375 AI running, Combinder, Brusho, Wingbits. Those are some those are some testnet projects we're still in, and we're gonna see what happens. I don't know what else we're gonna do at this point. When y'all know, when I find some more projects, I will bring them to y'all. We'll test. We'll see what happens and stuff like that. So, all right, that's about it. We got the LSU game coming on later today, and tomorrow I got some NFL football for my fantasy football, and hopefully when I wake up I can get out of bed in the morning, because that's what happens when you get my age. You know, you don't bounce, even though you're fat, you don't bounce like you used to. You get slapped on your back, and Jesus. So we'll see. I'll have to get the four-wheeler out. I rode around on my four-wheeler after I figured out and Googled, about the throttle cable and stuff. I was able to manipulate it, adjust it right, and I got it working again. And I was able to drive it out of there and go check on a different stand and come back, and then it started sputtering a little bit again. I'm like, I'm putting this thing up. Put it back in the back of the truck, and it does look rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. It bounced off a color. I gotta give it to this Yamaha. I'm gonna tell you, this thing has bounced off some trees. I wrecked it about 10 years ago. We had pine needles. I'm gonna tell you something. Pine needles, when it first starts drizzling, them pine needles mat on the ground, and when you got pine needles and they get wet when it starts drizzling, it's like slick ice. And I came around one of the trails and I started losing it. And if it was either me turning into a tree or me turning the other way, and I probably would have flipped it, I took the tree and I put a nice little gash in the front of it with a nice bruise on my thigh. Again, that was 10 years ago. I weighed 50 pounds less than I did now. I was in the gym 7 days a week, about 10% body fat, so I could bounce off that one a little better. And that Yamaha never skipped a beat. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it right now. I got battery issues with it. I got fuel issues with it. Carburetor issues with it. Gas meter don't work anymore. Now this throttle issue. I got some kind of exhaust leak. It sounds loud as hell, like it's got open headers on it or something. I don't know if it's just time to put it out to pasture or get somebody to try to repair it all, because the engine itself runs very well. Like I said, when it's tuned up and going. So I don't know. That's it for today. Y'all have a great, blessed weekend. And if you're going to church tomorrow, say a prayer. Say a prayer for crypto. Say a prayer for everybody. Or whenever you watch this video. I don't know if I'm gonna release this video today or tomorrow, Saturday or whatever. I don't know yet. That's how I feel when I get home. So I'll be on Discord. I'll be on X if y'all want to, chit chat on that. And who knows? I might still try to do a live tonight, tomorrow night. I don't know. Lives are pretty cool. We just because it's a big BS session. We don't try to. It ain't just like Cryptos R Us where George just talks for a while and stuff like that. It's like the BS session kind of at the end of his. We'll see. Especially if I come out with more facts about what happened in the last 24 hours, maybe we'll do it too. I don't know. See y'all later. I gotta go.